Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the auto trace feature in Adobe Illustrator. And what this is going to allow me to do is to take a raster image and convert it to a vector image. Now, this tool didn't work too well in earlier versions of Illustrator. It works really well now. Let's go in and let's take a look and we'll talk as we go. So we're going to go in, share screen, and let's open up our application, and I'm going to place an image. So let's go to File, and we're going to choose the Place command, and I'll provide you with the image that we use here. I'm going to select this image and click Place. So what is Place? Place is going to allow me to take this image and place it into the document. I'm going to hold down the Shift key, click and drag, and there's my image. Now, embedding means that the image is planted into the document. Place means that it's referenced in the document from somewhere else. And when we talk about the print part of the module, we'll get into more about that. Now, this is a photograph. And the idea with this is that if I'm going to click away from it, if I were to be using this for print, then I would need a certain resolution and a certain color mode. I need 300 DPI and I need it to be in CMYK. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image and I'm going to vectorize it. So I'm going to select this image. So I don't need that high of resolution. So when I click on the image, and the first thing I'm going to do up at the top, once I select the image, is I'm going to click Embed. So that's going to plant the image inside of Illustrator. Now, if I come up here and I click the image trace options, it says, hey, this tracing may proceed slowly with this large an image. So if it's a large image, you'll get this warning, would you like to continue? So, and then it says, no, to reduce the image size, rasterize to a lower resolution using object rasterize. So now, I have an option. I can go ahead and work with the image at the size it is. If I were planning on printing it back out, that might be advantageous. It's going to take longer to do these elements. Since I'm just doing this for on-screen, I'm going to click Cancel, and I'm going to go to Object and choose Rasterize, Object Rasterize. And what this allows me to do, I'm going to keep it in CMYK mode, and then what I can do from here is I can lower the resolution. And so I'm going to lower it from 300 to 150. I could lower it to 72. Let's lower it to 72. I'm going to keep everything else the same and click OK. And actually, I don't like that. I'm going to undo it, edit, undo. I'm going to go back and rasterize it, and I'm going to set it to 150. There we go. So now we've rasterized the image, and we're ready to move forward with taking the image. I'm going to click on it, and we're going to use the image trace command. So I click image trace, and it gives me an image tracing. So there's a lot of different ways that I can work with this image tracing. If I go under preset, you'll see there's a number of default settings I have here. Let's look at each one. High fidelity photo. So what it's going to do is it's taking the images, converting it from pixels to vector shapes, okay? And with high fidelity photo, it looks remarkably similar to the original photograph. Let's see how long it takes to get this done. All right, so what it's doing is remapping, it's calculating, and there we go. So that looks really good. If you look really closely, you can tell that it's not a photograph anymore, but it's pretty close, all right? Let's look at the next option down, which is low fidelity photo. Okay, so what happens is, as we choose these options, it makes choices about what part or how much of the information to keep and how much to throw away. Now we're down to using 3 colors. Let's try 6 colors. Let's look at 16 colors. So it's literally taking the image, which is 16.7 million colors, and mapping it to only 16. And then the other one, shades of gray, it's going to take it and convert it into a grayscale image, and of course, vectorize it as well. And then the last one's really like black and white logo. Basically, if I have a piece of art and I'm importing it and I want to just do a quick convert, there's actually other better ways to do this. If I were really creating a logo, I would not use this feature for that. Sketched art. I don't see any difference. Let's go down to silhouettes, line art, and technical drawing. So some of these work better than others. It also depends on what you're scanning or what you're converting. Let's go back to 3 colors. So let me show you something else that we can do with this. Now what we can do is that we can actually paint into this piece of artwork. And so I lowered it to 3 colors on purpose. So what I'm going to do now is over on my toolbar, I want to find, where's my tools for this? The live paint bucket and the live paint selection. So I got that live paint bucket. I can click. It says the selection contains objects that cannot be converted. Live paint groups can only contain paths and compound groups. Clipping paths are not allowed. For more information on how to convert text, images, and other types of artwork into a form allowed inside live paint groups, please see help. Click OK. I'm going to click expand. Now that I've expanded it, when I click into an area, you'll see that I can create a live paint group, and I can paint into that paint group and create something very interesting. So I have to expand the art, and then after I expand the art, I can paint into it. So I can just click into an area, select area, and then choose a swatch or a color and paint that area of the image. Let's step back a little bit. And then the other thing I can do, let me click away from everything, is I can use the live paint selection tool, which will show me the area that's been selected. And then I can edit that area. Okay. So you can create some very interesting pieces of art like this. And that really is how you use it. Now there's one more option here. The idea is that I have a gap detection. I can adjust the gaps between the piece of art. Usually I just leave it at its default. So that's how I take a piece of raster art and vectorize it. And then from there, I can export it to these different standards as far as the number of colors. And then I can use the live paint bucket and the live paint selection tool to modify it and create a new piece of artwork.